Good morning, ladies and gents. Mr. Lesham is here, and I'll have to pause. Again. All right, Mr. Lesham is here, and we're gonna finish exponents today. We are gonna do the opposite to what we did last time. If you remember, for each one of these family of functions, linear, parabolas, hyperbolas, and now exponents, we've got basically two kind of questions. What are the two kind of questions I want to ask you? As Jojo said, one is where I give you a function, like we've been doing last lesson, and you draw a graph. The other one is you get a graph, you need to find the function. Now, the basic form for exponential, or let's say the general form of exponential graphs are these. Okay? A times b power x plus p plus q. Okay? Now, that is quite a difficult one because we got 4 parameters. So the question I can see they give you here in grade 11 are restricted to this slightly simpler form. Can you see what's the difference between this and that? What are we missing in this?
P.
We're missing the p. In other words, we don't have in our graphs here, we don't have what? What did we leave out? The horizontal shift. Okay? It's just the reason why is that if we also have horizontal shift, that means we need to give you more information. Remember, for each one of these parameters, we need to give you one bit of information. So I guess in grade 11, we try and just make it slightly simpler. Okay? So in other words, unless you're told differently, there could be a question they tell you, look, there is a horizontal shift. If they don't tell you anything, you have to assume that this is the form you're looking at. In other words, p equals 0. So let's just do an example. I've got this graph. Boom. Okay? I've got this. What is that? They didn't say anything, but what can I understand from that?
Vertical.
Horizontal asymptote. Now, looking at that, straight away, there is one parameter that I can know straight away what it is. Which parameter is that? Q, correct. Now, what I suggest you do is rewrite it. Every time you get another bit of idea, you start with the general form. You've got to write it down, okay? It's not going to be given to you. You need to remember that. Every time you sort out something, you write it down. So I still don't know what A is. I still don't know what B is. X, but now I know that's plus 6 because that horizontal shift that usually used to be here moved up to 6. Okay, what next? Maybe before we try and find out, obviously, A and B, let's try and realize what are they, okay? What do I mean? Let's start with A. Is A positive or negative? A is negative. If you remember, positive A, for positive A, we have two options. We either have the airplane taking off or the airplane going down. None of these are like that. This is not a submarine. Sorry, this is a ship sinking, right? Yes. So that means A must be negative. Okay. Now we have two possibilities for negative A. One flipped of that, and the other one flipped of that. So which one are we looking at? The left or the right?
Left.
Obviously the left. So this is the shape. So we've got A is negative. Can you think what B is? B is going to be more than 1 or less than 1? It is going to be more than 1. Okay? We had a lesson about all the different options. If you remember, I've got a table. I drew a table for you, which is in the textbook. You can find it in page 74. So this shape basically means that A is negative, B positive. It's not like crucial, but it is very good to understand. Okay? Now, what we're really interested in is to find what A and B is. So what shall we do? Yes, there was already an answer. Substitute. Now, I've got 2 clues here. And one of them is, there are 2 clues. 2 clues in the form of 2 points. So I suggest, let's always start. Which one should we start with? I won't tell you.
I think we should start B.
With the intercept or the point?
The point.
Okay. Do you know what? Let's do both, and let's see. Decide together what was the right thing to do. So let's put the point. If I put the point, okay. So that's going to be my x, and this is going to be my y. Okay, don't get them confused. So the y is minus 12 equal A. I don't know what A is. I don't know what B is, but I know X is 2. And Q I know already is 6. Don't forget, this is what we're working with. I know, so it's important to get the Q first. So that's one equation. Put that in. The second equation, let's substitute the intercept. Okay? So what is X?
0.
X is 0. So I'm going to write A times B to the power of 0. And that's equal to 4. So Y is 4 plus 6. Now, which equation do you reckon we should really start with? I mean, just showing these two equations is great. We need to start with number 2. Why? What did I get rid of here?
B.
B. Because B to the power of 0 is 1. So if I rewrite it, all I have here is A, 4 equal A plus 6. Okay? Now, so I've got these two equations. The problem is I have two variables, A and B. But look, this equation really, I don't have a B. It got killed by that 0. Okay? So I've got that equation. That's the one I'm going to start with. A question. Okay, so we can solve that very easily. What is A equal here?
A equals
Negative 2. Okay? So we know what the minus the A is. Okay? So I can already rewrite that one. I'll write as Y equal minus 2 times B to the power X plus 6. You getting me? You getting me? What do we still need to find out?
B.
The B. How do I do that?
Substitute.
Substitute where? Which equation? And what?
The first equation.
I'm going to substitute A equal minus 2 here. So I'm going to rewrite it as minus 12 equal minus 2 times B squared plus 6. Okay? Okay, so here we got to be a little bit, what should I do first?
Minus 18.
Okay, there's a lot of things that can go wrong here. Can I just make a mistake? Can you tell me what's the mistake? Minus 12 equal 4b squared plus 6. What mistake did I do here?
Bracket.
I shouldn't square the minus 2. I should only square the b.
Yeah.
If I have brackets here, a square bracket, yes. Okay, so that's a classic mistake. Hands up if you would have done that mistake.
Never.
Alright. Okay. So then you're alright. I hope you guys can, I'm gonna move it here so everyone can see it. So I'm gonna move the 6 over to that side. So it's gonna be minus 18 equal minus 2b squared. What should I do now?
Divide.
Divide. Okay? So b squared equal 9. Okay. Now there's two answers here and there's two ways of doing this. You've got the JD way. What will JD do?
You will.
We're going to square root the 9, right? But he's good, so he will remember to put plus minus. Okay? In other words, b equal 3 or minus 3.
No,
If
just
you-
the square.
Yes, yes. The other option, which we normally suggest you do, is move it to the other side, right? B squared minus 9 is 0, which is a difference of the square, so it's b plus 3 times b minus 3 equal to 0. Same, you get b equal 3 minus 3. Now, do we get both these answers? Does that mean that we have two functions? Or do we have to reject one? Which one are we going to reject? Minus 3. We got to reject the minus 3 because I didn't write it today, unfortunately, but I did write, we spoke about it when I introduced exponents. B must always be larger than 0. We don't work with negative b's. Okay, remember we spoke about Eugene. If you want a negative number here, then the A must be negative. The B is always positive. So we must reject that. Okay? So our final form is going to be y equal minus 2 times 3 to the power x plus 6. Okay? Now, just a silly little question. Does that mean I can write it? Can I rewrite this? Simplify it as y equal minus 6 to the power x plus 6? Why not? You're right. I'm glad you're saying straight away no. Why can't I do that?
Because
What is the mistake that I've done that?
it's
Okay, what I've done, instead of doing 3 to the power of x and then timing by 2, I did, let's multiply the 3 by 2 and then power x. Odd mass. Okay, now hands up, be honest if you would have done that.
Yo, rookie mistakes once again.
Okay, alright, we're gonna pause here for questions. Moving on, we're gonna do one more question. It is actually really important we do that because remember I told you that it looks like it anyway, that they're not giving us the most general form of an exponent with the a and the b and the p and the q. In this last question, they gave us just a, b, and q. In other words, p was assumed to be 0. Here, and I'm in example 17, which is in page 79, actually, okay, they give us another form. They say, look, the form is 2 to the power x plus p plus q. So very, very different. Okay? Alright, we still have a q. Now suddenly we have a p. But what do we not have?
A B.
We don't have an a. The b, actually we know what the b is 2. Okay? But in other words, yes, they need to find p and q. So we're just giving 2 things to answer. Okay? So the moral of this is you gotta read the question carefully. Okay? I know that's the most general exponential form, but I think it's rarely that they're asked you to find all of them because that's just going to have to give you so many points. Here, the only thing you need to find is p and q. Okay? Given this picture, we can straight away know what one thing is. Q. What is q?
1.
1. Okay. So we just write that down. Okay. First step. Y equal 2x plus p plus 1. Okay? And that means we use, remember, we got to use each one of the clues. So we use that clue. You can tick that to kind of say, all right, I've used it. Is that a question?
So
yeah, let me just pause. Right, the question was, isn't it true that a is equal 1? You're right. But there's no point writing 1 times 2 because it doesn't change it. Okay, now we're missing p. How can we find p? What does p mean?
P is the
Horizontal shift. Can I know how much it was shifted? Not really. But so what do we have to do, as we always do?
substitute.
Substitute. Okay, which point? Okay, this 3, which really is 0, 3, right? So x is 3. So I'm going to put x equals 3. Shall we write in red? Just for once. That's right. Okay, so when x is 0, y is 3. So I'll rewrite again. 3 equal 2 to the power of p, because 0 plus 3 p is p, plus 1. Okay, what should we do now?
Take 1.
Take 1. 2 equal 2 to the power of p, which really
P equal 1.
p equal 1. We don't even need to do anything. Okay? P equals obviously 1. Okay? So the answer is very easily y equal 2 to the power x plus 1 plus 1. Done. Okay? Goodbye.